Right, in this video we're going to go through the 2017 Year 7 Maths number test. There are quite a few questions. I'll do my best to spend a bit of time on each one, but especially the harder ones or the ones that students found the most difficult. Okay, first question, choose two numbers from the box to complete the multiplication. So think of two numbers that give you 15. They are, let me just put the pen on, 3 and 5, or you could have had 5 and 3, same thing. Question B, choose two numbers from the box below to complete the division. Something divided by something equals 7. So the only answer for this one is 56 divided by 8 equals 7. I did see on a few papers these numbers around the wrong way. So 8 divided by 56 equals 7. That's not correct. Okay, so make sure you, when you're doing a division, just think about whether it actually makes sense to you before moving on to the next question. All right, question 2, what is the highest common factor of 8 and 10? And then the next question is the lowest common multiple question. It was interesting to see a few students get the factor and the multiples mixed up. So remember, factors have to be smaller and multiples are bigger. So 8 and 10, the highest common factor is 2. Now you could list the factors if you want. So the factors of 8, 1 and 8, they're a factor pair, and 2 and 4. And numbers 10, we have 1 and 10 is a factor pair, and 2 and 5. So what they have in common is 2. It's the highest common factor. What is the lowest common multiple of 8 and 10? So you can write the multiples if you like. So 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. I'm going to stop at 40 because I know 10 is, 40 is a multiple of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, I can stop there. So 40. From the box below, circle the numbers that are multiples of 5. So if you have a number has a multiple of 5, it either has a 0 or a 5 on the end. So 60. So 5 times 12 gives you 60. 45 is also a multiple of 5. 9 times 5 is 45. 35 is also a multiple of 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. But 12 isn't. Question B. We want a factor of 16, so we need one of these numbers to go into 16, and 2 is the only number that goes into 16, none of the others. All right, so let's just scroll to question 4. All right, a t-shirt factory made 7,895 blue t-shirts. The factory placed all of the t-shirts into packages without any t-shirt being left over. Each package contained the same number of t-shirts. Okay, so from the box below, choose the number that describes how many t-shirts should be in each package. Now the trick to this one is to look at the number 7,895. And it says the number. So there's only one number that can go into here. First of all, I know it can't be 2 because it's not an even number. So you can cross that out. And it's not 10 because we have a 5 on the end. If it was a multiple of 10, you'd have to have a 0. 6, okay, so if you think about any numbers that are divisible by 6, none of them have 5 on the end. And you should have just realised that 5 being on the end, that 5 is a factor, therefore the only answer could be 5. All right, question 5. For the following number sequence, write the operation to be completed first. So I did expect 4 times 3, but a few of you did just write the multiplication sign, so I still gave you a mark. Some of you worked out the answer and it actually wrote it here, and I thought, well, if you can write that, then I'll give you the mark as well. But make sure you read the question properly and just see what it is actually asking. Evaluate the following expression. So we do the brackets first. 4 plus 2 is 6, so 6 divided by 3 gives you 2. All right, let's move on. on. Question C, solve the equation by filling in the blanks. So we have 4 plus 6, that's where the 10 comes from. So you can see that's where the 10. And then the 2 plus 3 is what goes in here. Now, a few of you put 6. Okay, maybe read that as 2 times 3. So another careless error. Just make sure you read the question properly. And then 10 times 5 is 50. I did give some people, if they had a number here but then did it correctly, what we call consequential mark. So you would have got half a mark, but just a full mark if you had the 5 and the 50. All right, question 6. Which of the following numbers is a prime number? And it wasn't until I did this test again that I realized none of them are actually prime numbers. So only a few of you realized that. Remember, any even number except for 2 can't be a prime number. So 34 is not a prime. 35 is divisible by 5 and 7. 36 is an even number. 39 is divisible by 3. And 1 is neither a prime or a composite. Okay, so none of them are prime numbers. What is the largest factor of 36? A similar question was on your pre-test. I think it was, what is the largest factor of 32? And it's a bit surprising to see that you didn't pick up on that. It's the same question, and that the answer was 36. So the largest factor of any number is that number itself. All right, let's move on. Oops. Okay, so what is, oh no, we just did that one, sorry. Use a factor tree to write the number 12 as a product of its prime factors. So we just wanted here 3, 2, and 2. A few of you getting that one wrong, putting in a 6. Okay, you can always check your answer by actually doing the multiplication. So 3 times 2 is 6, and then 6 times 2 is 12. Some of you had answers that would have given you a much higher number than 12. So always make sure once you've done a question, just go back and say, hold on, before I move on, is this question actually correct? And the way to make this correct is actually just do that. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 2 gives you 12. All right, write the following in index form. This was done quite well. So we have 2 different bases. We have a 2, and how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, so it's 2 cubed. And then the other base is 5 squared. Okay, you didn't have to evaluate them, just writing 2 cubed times 5 squared. All right, question 8. Fung needed to complete 2 calculations. Question A, predict which answer will be greater. So this is just getting you to think about it. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what you wrote here, but most people who wrote number 2 actually got these correct. So let's just do number 2. So 7 times 5, we do the multiplication first, is 35 plus 2 gives you 37. It's not very good 7, is it? There we go. And this one we do the bracket first. So 5 plus 2 gives you 7. So 7 times 7 gives you 49. So that question was done quite well, which is good. All right, question 9a, list the complete set of factors of 60. There are quite a lot of them, and this is where it comes in handy to do your factor pairs. So 1 and 60 gives you 60. And go in order. So 2 is a factor because it's an even number, so 2 and 30. 3 is also a factor, 3 and 20. 4 is a factor, 4 and 15. 5 is a factor, 5 and 12. 6 is a factor, 6 and 10. 7 is not. 8 is not. 9 is not. And then we get to 10 again. So there's a list of your factors. If you got most of them, maybe if you were just missing one, I still gave you 2 marks. If you got if you're missing quite a few of them, I maybe only gave you 1 mark. All right, question B would have helped you for that previous question where it was a prime number. So the first 6 multiples of 13. So we have 13, 26, 39, 52, 65, 78, I think is the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, find the highest common factor of 36 and 45. So we want a number that goes into both 36 and 45. You can write the factors if you like. So if we did maybe 36 first, I'll just do it over here because we're going to run out of room. So 36, we have 1 and 36 obviously. 2 and 18. 3 and 12. 4 and 9, 5 isn't one, 6 is one, 7 is not, 8 is not, 9 we've already got. So there's our list of factors for 36, 45, 1 and 45. 2 is not 1, 3 times 15, 16 is not 1, 17, 18, 19, 20, no, I'm getting too high now. So we, what is the one that they have in common? So they have 1, but what's the highest one? 45, 3, oops, sorry, I forgot 5 and 9. I was just thinking in the top of my head. Okay, so 9 is your highest common factor. But you don't need to list them. If you know your factors, I mean, I know that the number 2 can't be in 45, 36 can't be in 45, any even number can't be in 45. So just thinking in your head what are the factors may be a lot quicker than actually listing them, but listing them is also quite helpful. Okay, let's move on. All right, then the last question there in question 9 is D. Find the lowest common multiple of 12 and 14. So some of you gave me a multiple, but it wasn't the lowest one, and you found that by multiplying 12 and 14, which was good. So I still gave you a mark for doing that, but it actually wasn't the lowest one. So let's do it over here. So let's do 12, 24, 36, 48, what are we adding? 60, 72, 84, and you can keep going. I'm going to stop at 84 because that is the answer. 14, 28, testing my ability to do this, 56, is that 70? 84. So 84 is your lowest common multiple, and for those people who actually did it this way, got the correct answer. But some of you did 12 times 14, which gives you 168. Now that is a multiple, but it's not the lowest one. So that's a good way of doing it, but sometimes it might be a good idea to see if you can halve it, all right, and also see whether 12 and 14 is a multiple of half of this, because you can see that 84 times 2 does give you 168. So you could have done it that way as well. All right, so let's just write the answer here. So it's 84. Evaluate the following BODMAS questions. Okay, so some people did not do the order. BODMAS, remember the order that we do things in, and we always do the division or multiplication first. So let's hug that out. Okay, and if you wanted to, you can write the 7 there. So we have 81 minus 7 plus 4 times 0. 81 minus 7 is 76. No, sorry, 74. I knew that was wrong as soon as I wrote it. 74. And then 4 times 0 is 0, so your final answer is 74. Now for those people who did the division first, you then went on to add the 4. So just, you could have put brackets here as well, okay, to see that you do them. And you could do them all in one go, so 4 times 0 is 0. All right, the last one. B. So we'll just leave the 3 times first. And you can see we've got a bracket inside the bracket, so I'm going to do that one. 8 divided by 2 plus, and then 9 minus 4 is 5. Don't do this times yet, we work within the bracket. So this division inside our bracket comes first. So it's 4 plus 5. Okay, and then we do the 3 times. And then we have 3 times 4 plus 5 is 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. Now notice how I'm putting a box around my answer. That's just because there's a bit of working out there, and it just makes it easier for the person looking at your work where the actual answer is. Okay, so good habit to get into for when you are moving into the upper years where you have a lot more working out. Okay, question 11. With respect to the following 2 numbers, we have 3 squared and 2 cubed. Indicate for each of the 3 statements below whether the statement is either true or false. Now, just looking at them, it doesn't matter what the number is. We have greater, lesser, and same. So obviously only one can be true. The number of tests I saw where someone wrote that 2 were true, it's just not possible. Okay, it's like saying your friend is either taller, shorter, or the same height as you. She can't be more than 2 of those things. She can't be taller than you and also the same height. It's just not plausible. So if you thought about the question, you should realize there was only one that can be true. Now, 3 squared is 3 times 3. So 3 squared gives you 3 times 3. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 3 times 3. Sorry, is 9. And then 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which gives you 8. So basically, we have the number 9 and 8. So you can rewrite them here, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8. So is 9 is of greater value than 8? Yes, true. 9 is less than 8? False. 9 is the same value as 8? False. Okay, so moving on to question 12. Still a couple of you unsure about doing the square roots. I will look at you. We'll see you individually because it's something that you should have worked on, and you should know your square roots. So the square root of any number. Okay, so we're looking at the square root of 81 here. The square root sign basically is asking what number, when you multiply it by itself, gives you 81. And that number is 9. So you really need to know your perfect squares. 49, what number when multiplied by itself gives you 49? Is 7. So what we have here is 9 minus 7, which gives you 2. Question B, we've got a larger number, the square root of 8,100. But the 81 should give you a hint. Okay, so this 81. So what number, well actually we did it here, didn't we? Square root of 81 is 9. So you're going to say, well, if I've got 2 zeros there, that means it has to be 90. Because when we do 90 times 90, we multiply the number. 9 times 9 is 81, and then we just add how many zeros we have on the end. Okay, so a little bit trickier, but a lot of you did get that one right, which was good to see. All right, question C. So 3 cubed. So I did see people write out 3 times 3 times 3. 6 times 6 divided by 2 times 2. So if you did that, that was really good. I probably gave you a few marks. Or when I say a few marks, half or 1 mark. Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9. Then 9 times 3 gives you 27. 6 times 6 is 36. And then 2 times 2 is 4. Now, unfortunately, if you did this, and then you got the final answer, some of you forgot that you had to do this one first. So it's actually 27 plus 36 divided by 4, which is 9. And your final answer is 36. Bit of working there, so we'll just put a box around the final answer. Okay, so just don't forget your BODMAS. All right, question 13, write a factor tree for each of the following numbers, and then we've got to write it in index notation. So this one here, I'm going to do 7 and 8, but you could have had 2 other numbers. Then 8 becomes 2 and 4, and then 4 becomes 2 and 2. So index notation means you write it as your bases. So 2, 2, 2, so 2 cubed times 7. And usually we write it in ascending order, but if you had 7 times 2 cubed, I would still give you the mark. All right, 75. For me, 25 stands out, so I'm doing 3 times 25. And then we have 5 times 5. So in index notation, it should be 3 times 5 squared. And as I said before, you can check your answer. So 2 times 2 is 8. 8 times 7 gives you 56. This one here, 5 squared is 25. 3 times 25 is 75. All right, question 14. What is the next prime number after 23? Okay, so remember, an even number can't be prime, so we can't have 24. The next one is 25. 25 is not a prime because it can be divided by 5. 26 is an even number. 27 can be divided by 9 and 3. 28 is an even number, so the next one is 29. All right, question 15. Insert a pair of brackets to make the following mathematical statement true. So this requires a little playing around. We don't follow the times and division first, okay, because if we did, we'd have 30 minus 4 plus 4 does not equal 7. Okay, so we want quite a small number, so let's see how we go putting the brackets around here. So 10 minus 8 is 2, so 3 times 2 is 6, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then add 4 is 7. Okay, so your brackets had to go around 10 minus 8. All right, question 15b. So a Year 7 test read as follows: student obtained the answer of 39, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you had to show the correct answer. So let's rewrite it here. Okay, so we do the multiplication first. 3 times 6 is 18. And then we do the division, so 18 divided by 2, and then we get 19. All right, question 16. I'm just going to have a sip of my cup of tea. Edith goes to the gym every second evening while Fred goes every third evening. How many days will it be before they both attend the gym? Okay, so Edith goes, even if we just listed them as, days on a calendar, you don't have to do that many, but Edith goes every second evening. So Edith goes here, 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 here. And Fred, let's get our E's mixed up with our F's. All right, and Fred goes every third. So that's Fred, and he would go on day 9. So the first time they attend the gym together is 6 days, or 6 days, okay, on the 6th day. Okay, question 17. Athena has 3 separate pieces of tubing, one at 6 meters, one at 9, one at 15. She needs to cut the tubing into the longest pieces of equal length that she can without having bits left over. How many should each piece of tubing be if they are all to be of equal length? Okay, so 6, we got 6 meters long, 9, 15. they need to be of equal length. So you've got to find the highest common factor. So the factors of 6, 1, 2, 3, and 6. 9, what have we got? 1, 3, 9, and then 15 is 1, 3, 5, 15. So they all have 3. So that means they all should be 3 meters long, okay, to have, because they all are divisible by 3, and that's your highest common factor. How many pieces of tubing will Athena end up with? So from her 6 meter tubing, she gets 2, okay, because she's cut it into half to get 2 lots of 3 meters. For 9, if we divided that by 3, we get 3. And for her 15 divided by 3 gives you 5. So she has 2 bits of tubing, 3 and 5. So altogether she has 10 pieces of tubing. All right, there was another question that didn't print. Maybe I saved it somewhere else. Actually, I know it off the top of my head. So there was a question where my age is a prime number over 20 something. I can't remember what it was, but it's also, when you add them together, it's equal to 4. Okay, so what you could have done is listed the prime numbers, and some of you gave me a prime number, but when you added the 2 numbers together, you didn't get 4. So the answer to question 18, and I'll just write, oops, didn't have the pen on, to question 18 should have been 31. Okay, so first prime number after, I can't even remember what it was, 23 or something. The only possibility is 31, okay, because when you add 3 and 1 together, you get 4, and it's also a prime number. Okay, so what you should do is make sure you understand all the questions you got wrong, and also come and see me if you had any difficulty. If you got below 50%, okay, and I'll let you know if you got below 50%, then you will have to resit the test, okay. So make sure you, from this video, understand how to do the test, and you'll resubmit it at some point in the future. Well done.